two best friends tell you about history, even though, one, no one asked us to, and two, we're not equipped to do so. So, I am Emileigh, and this is my bestie, Morgan. Hello. How are you, my wonderful, lovely best friend? And I miss you so much.
I miss you so much, too. I am so excited.
Guys, we haven't recorded in like 2 weeks because I've been, I would say jet setting, but we drove. I've been on vacation. So, yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah. I'm really sad about it.
But we have a girls' trip coming up and I'm so excited.
Literally a week from today, I will be packing my bags. Guys, the logistics of these flights are me and another one of our friends are driving to Nashville. And then the next morning, Morgan and I and our friend are going to go to the airport. And then our other friend is flying up and meeting us at the airport in Nashville. And then we're all flying together as a unit. It's fine. I love it.
It'll all work out. Everything will be fine. And then we'll all be in the same place.
I'm so stressed. If one thing goes wrong, this could all go toppling down. Traveling is so stressful.
It's so stressful. Earlier today in the chat, we were all talking about how anxious we get when traveling and flying on planes. And
I'm an anxious person in any form of vehicle. Which, like, I'm fine flying. I've flown a lot in my day.
Yeah.
But also flying a lot in your day means you've seen a lot of shit happen in airports. And it's like,
it's true. My anxiety, I am so anxious leading up to the flight. And honestly, like, I'm anxious until my butt is in the chair and we're on the runway. After that, everything's out of my hands. And I'm like, okay, that's it.
We have to be literally landing at our destination. I have my bags in my hands because I've flown from Hawaii home before. They lost my bag. Like, I am so anxious until the moment I think I'm back in my house. Like, I'm back home. But nothing is as bad as the time when I flew to Denver, Colorado, and I was probably my daughter's age. And I insisted I bring an entire child-sized suitcase full of Barbies with me. And my Barbie suitcase was so jam-packed, it exploded on the escalator in the Denver airport. And I had to frantically pick up my Barbies before the escalator ate them. And then my mama had to tape the suitcase shut. Who let me take that many Barbies? I should have been told no.
What were you going to do with that many Barbies?
Play with them, Morgan. She could be anything. I just remember it's like a core memory of being in an airport and just frantically grabbing shoes and everything, everything Barbie, and just throwing them in the suitcase as the doom of the top of the escalator is getting nearer and nearer. It was awful.
Oh man, that sounds stressful.
I don't even know where they got the tape either. It was somewhere in the airport. They're like,
it just showed up.
Yeah. You can't. It was a Barbie brand suitcase too. So like when it exploded, like the plastic clip broke off. So there was no way of closing it without tape.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. We were going on a snow skiing trip. I have no idea what I was going to do with those Barbies on the slopes. Like, what were we doing?
You make a snowboard out of the Barbies, clearly. Sorry.
Nearly choked on wine.
She almost had a full like spit take moment.
I'm just imagining Barbies taped together, like in a row, but like Toy Story style, where they're like, "I hate this.
What are we doing?" Ah!
Okay. So I'm not packing Barbies next week.
Okay.
Yeah. Nope. Will not be packing Barbies.
Are you sure? You can.
I haven't taken a Barbie on an airplane since. It was too traumatic.
Y'all are staying in the safety of our home from now on.
Yeah. And I realize that me saying that I, as a 5-year-old, flew to Denver, Colorado for a ski trip makes me sound like a rich, bougie a-hole. My uncle was working over there at the time. We took advantage, okay? I promise.
Yeah. Hey, there was no judgment from me.
I think it was there I fell off the chairlift. I don't quite remember. I got hit in the head. I fell off right at the end. I got hit in the head with like 3 more chairlifts before someone helped me.
You're just a calamity.
I'm built different. And by different, I mean poorly. To get into the episode today.
We gotta start goofing off.
This is what happens when we're not together often. We get like a buildup of goofy and we have to let it out somewhere.
And unfortunately, listeners, it's to you guys.
Yeah, because my husband's had enough of me. He spent a whole week with me every single day and he's just like,
go away.
You're weird.
Anyway, let's do our skit.
Okay. It's 1930 in New York City. A married couple walks down the street close by the newly completed tallest building in the world. Would you look at that, dear? It's the tallest building in the world, the Chrysler Building.
Not for long. I hear they're building an even bigger one just down the road on 34th Street.
Well, they wouldn't do that. That's where the Waldorf Astoria is. That's where we stayed for our honeymoon, dear. Don't you remember?
Honey, they've already started tearing it down. It's a done deal. Did you not read the papers?
Well, I would, dear, but I'm a little busy around the house, with our 8 children and all.
No excuse to be uneducated, honey. You'll just have to do better to find the time to read. Wait, why are you looking at me like that? Don't be mad at me.
For your own safety, I'm going to pretend you didn't just say that. She can't read. She's got 8 kids. I
Where's
can
the
barely
time?
read with 2. Anyway, Morgan, have you figured out what we're talking about today?
Tall building.
The Empire State Building. Ooh. And it's kind of cooler than I anticipated. And also, we're recording this pretty much a week from us leaving to go visit New York City, and I did not put that together till today. And
That's
my mother-in-law sent me like a list of things that we should go do, and the Empire State was one of those, and I was like, wait a minute.
Wait a second.
Hold
cool.
on. Yeah, so we've got a lot to cover. Guys, I'm sure I'm not going to go into as many details as probably the building itself deserves, because it's just an architectural, like, It's so cool. Like, I don't even know what the word I was looking for was, but
architectural marvel.
Yes. It's cool. I'm also not an architect. So I'm going to do my best. We're going to talk about a lot of events, a good amount of people, because I never hear about the people. Like, if somebody before this was to ask me who built this, I don't know. Some guy in the 30s. So here we go. Let me set the stage for you a little bit, because I know we mentioned it in the skit, the Waldorf Astoria. And have you heard of the Waldorf Astoria before?
I have.
Okay. I don't know a whole lot about it. I do know that it was only around 30 years old at the time. But when it was torn down, it was on 34th and 5th Ave, where obviously the Empire State is now. It was built in 1893. And it originated as 2 hotels built side by side by feuding relatives in the Astor family.
Okay.
The Astor family being the rich Astor guy that died on the Titanic.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I am not going to go any more into that. 1, because we don't have time. We're not talking about the Waldorf Astoria. 2, their entire family, I've heard, is crazy, and I want to cover them at a later date. So
okay.
Just know when that later date comes, think about the Empire State Building episode.
Okay.
So in 1928, the Waldorf Astoria Hotel was sold to the Bethlehem Engineering Corporation for about $20 million. How it ended up from the Bethlehem Engineering Corporation to the people we're about to talk to in a second, I could not really hone down. I don't know if one of the people in the group of people we're about to talk about, like, owned that company and then kind of got it through there. I don't know. Just know that somehow it's related. I tried to look it up. It's not very clear.
Okay.
And at the time, I'm going to say at the time because in 1928, the Chrysler Building did not yet exist. But before the Chrysler Building, there was the 40 Wall Street Building. It was 927 feet tall.
Okay.
Very soon after that was the Chrysler Building. It was 1,046 feet tall. So it beat out 40 Wall Street. And then we've got the Empire State Incorporated that we're about to talk about was about to build theirs. Now, all 3 of those were like vying. There was like a race to the skies. And they were all wanting to have the tallest building in the world. Why? I don't know. It just seemed like a really big pissing contest against rich people. But I guess they just wanted like the fame that would come with having the world's tallest building. I mean,
it's literally a dick measuring contest, right?
I mean, I'm not saying that the way the buildings are shaped might be overcompensating. But I mean, if it's an effective design, it's an effective design. So in 1929, remember, this is the beginning of the Great Depression, former General Motors.
Goodness gracious.
Former General Motors executive, John Jacob Raskob, with Coleman DuPont, Pierre DuPont, Louis Kaufman, and Ellis P. Earl, form what is called the Empire State Incorporated, and they name Alfred E. Smith, or Al Smith as we'll call him, who was the former governor of New York, as the head of the corporation. So a little bit about these people, just so you know what kind of money we're talking about.
Okay.
I looked them up individually and I was like, my God. John Jacob Raskob was, he worked his way up from secretary for actually Pierre DuPont, who we'll talk about in a second, through different railroad and real estate companies. He was a secretary. And then when Pierre moved to be treasurer of DuPont, we all know that company, he became his assistant. Well, then when DuPont moved up as vice president, Raskob became the treasurer. And then from treasurer, he became vice president when DuPont became president. So he just kept moving up, kind of in DuPont's shadow.
Yeah.
By 1915, both of them owned enough stock in General Motors because they just saw, literally, they were just like, I think I like this company. Let me buy enough stock that they were the chairman of the board, and Raskob was a board member. And then Raskob became a board member, and my God, they were just literally, he was the chairman of the firm's finance committee and just raking in money for GM.
I'm sure.
So he also ran Al Smith's campaigns for presidency.
Oh,
now, those were unsuccessful. We'll talk about Al in a minute, but these three men are very intertwined and very rich. Now, John Jacob Raskob was, I believe, the only real self-made person in this group. And it was really his idea to make the tallest building in the world because he wanted people to look at this building and think, if a guy from a poverty-stricken background can build this, anyone else can. So he's really looking at it from the perspective of like
rags to riches.
American dream kind of vibe. Now, Pierre DuPont, we talked about him for a second. His company during World War I made smokeless ammunition. So you gotta know they were loaded.
Oh, for sure.
Literally sold 1.5 billion pounds of explosives to the government.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And he ended up retiring rich to his 1,000-acre farm. So he's like Richie rich.
good for him, I guess.
Coleman DuPont was Pierre's cousin.
Okay.
And he worked at like a different branch of DuPont.
Okay.
And he actually, I found it. He was the one, I was like, I know it was in here, who acquired the Waldorf Astoria for the group. Gotcha. He was also a senator between 1921 and 1922, and then in 1924 to 1928. So another big man. Now, he died of cancer in 1930 before the Empire State Building could be completed. But he was a very important person because he was the one that acquired the building, the Waldorf Astoria.
Okay.
Now, Louis Kaufman was an American business executive. He was president of a lot of banks. And by the time he retired, the banks he was a president at had grown 50-fold.
Wow.
And then he joined the GM board of directors in 1910, and he remained in the GM board of directors for 22 years.
Wow.
Now, remember, keep this in mind. Lots of GM going on.
Yes.
Their competitor is the Chrysler building.
Yeah.
So pissing contest.
Yes, between the car companies.
Yes. So Ellis P. Earl, he formed the Nipissing.
What?
Surely I'm not reading that right. Nipissing. Nip. I'm going to call it Nip-issing. Mining company in Canada.
Okay.
And was one of the largest producers of silver on the continent.
Damn.
Yeah. And after the First World War, he made over 700,000 bales of cotton linters to be used in the war for uniforms.
Okay.
Yes.
So he also has a lot of money.
Everyone that I'm listing is just so loaded. It's not even funny. That's why I was like, I have to talk about these people because no one understands how much money backing was in this freaking building.
Okay.
I mean, literally, if you put all of these guys' wealth combined, it'd be worth billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
At like that wild amount of money.
Yeah.
So then Al Smith, he was a 4-time Democratic governor. I cannot talk today, guys.
You really can't. You're struggling.
Wow. Real bad. So he was a 4-time Democratic governor of New York, and he was the first Roman Catholic to run for U.S. presidency, which is very interesting.
Yes.
He had, adequate housing, improved laws, factory laws, proper care for mentally ill, child welfare, state park. Those are the things he really fought for. He was well loved. He was a very well loved governor. So having him as kind of the figurehead for this put them in the spotlight.
And like the public's good graces.
Yes. And with him, I do need to mention his assistant was named Belle Muscovitz. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Muscovitz. She was one of the first people to kind of be like a PR person. She was super important to Al, worked with him with a lot of things, with him for years. And they would take videos of like him talking. She would edit them and then send out, so this is really public relations 101 right here. She pretty much kind of put it on the map a little bit. Like just remember her. She'll come up later, but she is kind of the driving force behind the publicity stunts and things of that nature.
Okay.
It was her job to keep everything in the papers.
Okay.
So, let's talk about, now we know where the money's coming from, let's talk about the architects for a minute. So, Shreve, Lamb, and Harmon was a very prominent architectural firm at the time. It was founded in 1920. Richmond Shreve went to Cornell, and he even taught there between 1902 and 1906.
Okay.
And he was president of the American Institute of Architects from 1941 to 1943. William Lamb, who was the main architect on this job, he went to Williams College in 1904 and graduated from the School of Architecture, Columbia University, and he received an honorary doctorate from Williams College, which an honorary doctorate always blows my mind. It's like, you're just so good, we're going to give this to you.
Instead of having to
work for it or, actually go to school.
Yeah. I mean, good for him, I guess.
Yeah. But also, I just think it's crazy. He got 2 gold medals from the Fifth Avenue Association, a medal from the Architectural League of New York, and a Medal of Honor from the New York chapter of the American Institute of Architects. So, bro was designing his little heart out.
I can see why he got that honorary doctorate.
Yeah, seriously. And then Arthur Harmon also graduated from the University School of Architecture. And he was elected into the National Academy of Design as an associate member in 1935 and then full member in 1944.
Okay.
And so designing this building, it was actually really interesting that Richmond Shreve had, with other associates, had put together a book about the skyscraper and about just the idea of the skyscraper. And within this book, it had different designs, and almost an identical design to the Empire State Building is in this book. So it's almost like they're like, pick the one you like.
Yeah.
Like they tweaked it a little bit, but kind of these are the designs we've already come up with. Which one, is your vibe? And it pretty much had the original Empire State Building. It didn't have the spire. It was a flat top and whatever. But it was pretty much the same.
Okay.
Very Art Deco. And the Empire State Building is an Art Deco building.
Yes, very much of the time.
It's gorgeous, though. I love Art Deco. I love it. So, it had a section and I don't know if this is just like my business degree coming out, but it, like within it, it had different sections of the tower itself. And it was like, if you built up to this floor, they had calculations on your return on investment. So if you built an additional 50 floors, it would be, you'd get this much for your investment. If you built an additional whatever floors, you get this much for your investment. And I'm like, that you did a lot of calculations.
Yeah.
By hand.
Yeah, because they didn't have computers.
No. So
it was all algorithms. Yeah. Ooh.
They didn't even really have calculators. They had the little slidey thing.
Yeah, the abacus.
Is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah.
Slidey thing. I never figured out how to use that.
Me neither.
So, with the spot they had, they wanted to build, obviously, the tallest building in the world. So, it had to be 100+ story building. And they designed it to where the elevators were in the middle because air conditioning was not a thing at the time. And you had to maximize your space for the most amount of windows possible, because you could charge more money for offices that had windows that could open for fresh air.
Clever.
And let's be honest, the Empire State Building was first and foremost a business proposition. It was, yes, we're building this so there's offices to be rented out.
Right.
And the Chrysler Building and 40 Wall Street combined did not have as much usable office floor space as the one Empire State Building.
Wow.
And by the time it was built, the Empire State Building has 2.7 million square feet of office space on a site that's 79,288 square feet of land.
I'm doing a lot of like blinking because I can't even like, and I've been to the Empire State Building, but it's still hard to like just conceptualize that.
How much space that is. Yeah. The Chrysler Building has 1.26 million square feet, and 40 Wall Street had 1.3 million square feet. So combined, they're still right under the Empire State Building.
That's crazy. Very efficient for the Empire State Building.
The Chrysler Building, and I might be giving this away, is only shorter than the Empire State Building because of the mooring mast they put on the top, the spire that they put on the top of the Empire State Building. So they built it so efficiently.
just eking it out.
Yeah. So speaking of the mooring mast, the title of this one is Need It Taller? Don't worry, just add a Zeppelin. So
I see the picture that you put here.
So they realized, because you've got to remember, the Chrysler Building wasn't finished until 1930. They had just started the Empire State Building when the Chrysler Building finished. So they realized that the Chrysler Building was going to be taller than the Empire State. So what do? They're like, we're going to make it taller by adding a 17-story equivalent mooring mast. So it brought it up to 102 stories. The mooring mast was 200 feet tall. And the idea behind it was transatlantic travelers riding on not a Zeppelin, I mean a blimp. It's a blimp.
Yeah.
Could just get off from the top of the building.
Oh, God.
In airships.
I kind of hate it.
It was, I'm going to read this just straight from the source. It said, it's hard to say whether the owners were serious about it or if they were just trying to get publicity for the tower.
Yeah,
but
it sounds like not a great idea.
I will say, and we're jumping ahead just a little.
Okay.
They did dock a Zeppelin on the Empire State Building's mooring mast in September of 1931, so just a couple months after it opened. And it only stayed connected for a few minutes, but the wind was so fucking strong that it was just, I mean...
I can imagine. That's why I was like, that sounds like a horrible idea.
Yeah.
The winds up there are crazy.
It never happened again.
Yeah.
So I don't know if, and like the source said, I don't know if they were actually serious or if they were like, we're going to do it. Oh, it didn't work. But now you're looking at the Empire State. Now the Empire State's in the papers with a Zeppelin attached to it.
And they can prove it is functional, you know, like it's not just decorative, like it was built for a purpose. So it can claim that extra height, and it's not just like, we just put a spike and it's taller.
That was the longest 3-minute docking ever. So backing it up just a little bit, somebody has to build the damn thing.
Yes.
So Paul Sterrett, the Sterrett building, Sterrett Brothers and Ekin. Sorry. I'm just thinking of the Pokemon Ekans. It might be Ekans. Anyway, so in 1922, this company was founded by the Sterrett brothers and Arthur J. Ekin. But Paul Sterrett was really the driving force behind this company, and he would just, he was known to just walk into places unannounced that he knew they were going to build something and just tell them who he was and ask for the contract. And I'll be damned, it worked most of the time. He was like, yeah, I could build that.
That's confidence right there.
He built the Flatiron Building, the Plaza Hotel, Penn Station, or is it Pennsylvania Station?
Just Penn Station.
Penn Station. And literally so much more just by walking in being like, I can build that. He charged $500,000 to tear down the Waldorf Astoria. Like, the dude has so much confidence.
That's literally what I was just about to say. Like, he knows his talent, and
that is some big dick energy right there.
So real.
I mean, it was built in like March, April, May. So it'd be 12, 13 and a half months.
That's pretty impressive for how big this building is.
It was, on average, a story a day.
That's insane.
So, let me tell you how they did it, because it's insanity. So, construction on the Empire State Building began on March 17th of 1930 on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh.
I really think someone mentioned that they were, because its completion date, they wanted it specifically May the 1st. And that's May Day, a big celebration.
Yeah.
But also, typically, the, like, beginning of leases in New York City. So it might have just coincided. But, sure, you wanted it by May Day.
Sure.
They mentioned a couple times that because it was during the Great Depression, they just wanted someone to think about happy things. So they're like, so we're going to start it on St. Patrick's Day. Let's have fun with this.
Yeah.
You know? But what I will say is, as heartbreaking as it is for a beautiful building like the Waldorf Astoria to be torn down, this gave a lot of people a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
During the Great Depression. So here's how they did it. All the materials were kept in Jersey City, and they would be brought over on ferries and trucks. These trucks were unloaded in 30-second intervals. So a truck would pull up. You'd have to unload a beam, and the next one would be coming, and it was just like little worker ants. Like, you gotta be quick. And before they got the temporary elevators put in, they would have to walk up the stairs.
Oh, God, that's awful.
At peak, they would have 3,400 men working on a typical day. Now, it varied depending on the work that needed to be done, but at its max was 3,400 people working.
Shit.
And
That's so many.
On that, I mean, tiny is relative, but that tiny lot in New York City, 3,400 men working on one site. And not like bogging each other down. Mm-hmm. And they used riveted steel. And riveted steel was being used for a lot of other things, but it's incredibly strong because it's, you know, it's got the rounded tip and then the bolt that comes through. Mm-hmm. They had these, Morgan, they had these tiny little ovens that you would put the rivet in, right? Well, you have to, the way it works, if you don't know how it works, there's a hole in two pieces of metal. You bump the metal up to each other. You put the rivet in one side while it's literally red hot, like blacksmithing, and you hold it on one side with a tool, and you have to hit it on the other side to round it out. So it's not like a bolt that can come unscrewed. It is now one piece.
Okay.
So just think of like a mushroom with two ends.
Okay.
And that's what's holding the metal together. I hope y'all are following. So in order to do this, they had to get these rivets hot enough to bend the metal when they hit it, but they only have a few seconds to get it into the hole and start riveting. So they would have a team of people. You would put the rivet in the oven. They would pull it out and throw it. How hot is,
very hot.
How hot gets.
How hot gets metal hot.
650 degrees Celsius, 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit.
Ugh.
That they would throw and then catch with tongs to put in the hole to hit really fast. While on these freaking metal beam scaffoldings. Hundreds of feet in the air. So stressed.
I'm stressed just hearing about this 100 years later. Oh my God.
Yep. I was watching videos of one, these men climbing the scaffolding, and I'm like, my heart is stopping. And two, them just like nonchalant, these 1,200 degree rivets that are red hot being thrown across, and people are walking around and just like avoiding them, and they're like,
jeez. Goodness.
So, also, the framing was incredibly regular. So, a lot of the steel beams were the same size. So, it was just like, I want to say Legos, but it's almost like it's the Connects.
The Tinker Toys. Like like the log cabin ones.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So, it was just like, boom, boom, frame. And I also have a link I meant to tell you. Under our skit, there is a link called skyscraper.org.
Okay.
And it will take you there's like a little scrapbook looking thing of pictures of it being built. So if you want to flip through that while we're talking about that.
Okay.
And then, so they made the beams as identical as possible just to cut down on really man labor and time.
Yeah.
Because they had to get to that May 1st, got to get that first,
those rent payments.
Got to get those rent payments.
Got to get the return on their investment.
Yeah, got to get that ROI, baby. So, and also, this is 40 years into, like, the steel frame skyscraper era. So, by the time this came around, they were, like, churning out. They had it down pat. So, you had the metal steel framework. They would put wood down, and they would pour concrete for the concrete floors, and it would actually encase the steel framework for fireproofing, which is smart. What's interesting about the outside, the limestone facade, because it is limestone, which is a soft stone, so, like, the rain actually eats away at it. So, like, now every year they have to, like, check and make sure it's not being eaten away. But whatever.
But it looks pretty.
It's beautiful! How they were going to do the facade really hadn't been completely hashed out before they started building the damn building.
Great.
This was the first time that they had extra beams mounted on the outside of this building. So it was basically like a curtain wall. So the structure itself, there's like a skeleton, and then you had just like the curtain facade on the outside. It's like in brick homes that are built now, those bricks are not holding any weight structurally. They're just for looks. There's like
it's almost
gap.
like a veneer almost.
Yes, absolutely. So that's basically what it is. And they would build these. They had these stainless steel mullions. And if you don't know what a mullion is, think of like the lines inside of a window. Okay. Where it's like a grid, like my house. Yeah. And they had these grooves, and they would just mount the mullions and slide the limestone panels into them. And that allowed them to do the majority of the work from the inside of the building. So they built it. They built the frame on the inside. They poured the concrete floor. Then they would build it from the outside in. So they would put the limestone in the mullions and the windows whenever those needed to be put in. And then they would secure that how they needed to secure it. And then on the inside, New York code said they had to have a brick wall of some form. So they built that brick wall on the inside.
Okay.
And then they would put the inside wall that you would see from the office building. So they worked, and that kept them from having to use as much scaffolding on the outside, because if they built it from the inside out, you'd have to work on the outside of the building. They worked from the outside in once they got the concrete floor done.
Okay, very interesting.
That's working with your dipstick, Jimmy.
Yeah, it sounds very efficient.
And all of the limestone came from one place. Okay. From southern Indiana.
Okay.
From the quarry called Empire Quarry. So I wonder why they named it that. And like I said, they built on average a floor a day. Now, obviously, when we're talking about the lower floors, they were fatter. But then once we got, on average.
It gets tall and skinny as you get to the top.
Yeah. And they also had, because they were working from the outside in, they had a lot of raw materials that needed to be moved within the building itself. So they had these miniature, railroads built. They're temporary, and they would put the materials on the elevator, the temporary elevator they built in the regular shaft, bring up the materials, put them on a cute little rail cart, and then push them around the floor as needed. Which is sounds like cute.
A way to really save on like the exertion of like carrying the materials up all these floors. Like, it sounds for the 1930s like a really
ergonomic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good word.
Thanks. Sometimes I'm smart. That's going to be the best word I say all night.
You actually said it. You didn't even stutter.
I had to put it all together. I had to think about it really hard.
Your brain cells were saving up for that one word.
They rubbed together really fast to make that one word.
Little static electricity charges. Ergonomic.
Ergonomic. Oh, that was hard. So, and as far as the organization goes, I mean, think about how many 3,400 people peak. You're trying to figure out, like, what material goes on what crane. I don't know how they did it, but they came up with this system that they could literally predict where bottlenecks would be before they even happened.
So they had a lot of, like, really good, like, architects and, like, different kinds of engineers that could, like, make these predictive models. That's really impressive.
Like, so impressive. And they would have, like, school, I would say school age, more like 19, like fresh out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
That if you wanted a job, you could go be like a water boy, and you wouldn't be paid, but you would get tips throughout the week.
Okay. They
were getting so much money. They were getting paid more than, like, the paid workers.
Are you serious?
Because they were getting, I mean, it's hot. They need to keep hydrated.
Yeah.
So they would just get tips from 3,400 people. I mean.
Yeah. Well, good for them.
Yeah. So one guy was interviewed, and he was like, yeah, I was making more than my dad. And, you know, the water would kind of hold them off for a while, but those men really wanted something. So I would go down to the bar and get my bucket filled up with beer and take her over to them.
The 30s were such a different time.
The wild, wild west. Okay. And I am very sorry for the next thing I'm about to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're never gonna forget it, but I need you to suffer with me.
Okay.
It was said, and these are I did come across a documentary that was interviews from people who actually worked there. And honestly, there was like an old couple, and they were talking about their time, like with him working, and she was like worried to death. And they had little inside jokes, and it was so cute.
Oh, cute.
They were the cutest thing. He said that because of all the steel, some of the men would get like steel slivers in their eyes. And someone would come around with a fucking magnet and get it out. So, suffer with me.
Oh, I'm suffering. Oh, yeah, because this is before, like PPE was a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I like squeezing my eyes. Oh, that, like, hurt my stomach. Oh.
Yeah. I know. I kept rubbing my eyes.
Oh.
Because the thought of that is like, ah.
Like, I keep trying to forget it, and it pops back into my head. I'm like, ah.
The thought of it, like, the magnet making it come out and split. Sorry.
That was completely involuntary. I'm so sorry.
Your face, God, I wish we recorded this shit on video. Oh my God.
Oh, man.
Oh, I literally wrote, oh my gosh, ew, in my notes.
Oh, God. Okay. Next thing.
Okay, it's not any better. So.
Oh, no.
Well, it is, but it's not. So.
Okay.
The official number of deaths. Now, I mean, there's hearsay that there were more. But the official number of deaths of laborers was only 6.
Really?
Only 2 of them fell to their death. Which I'm shocked, because it's not like they had harnesses on.
Right, there's no protective gear, and there were 3,600 people working on this thing.
The other 4, I believe, got hit by falling things.
Yeah, and that's why hard hats became standard.
Yes. Also, there was one unfortunate woman who was walking by and got hit with a plank of wood.
Oh, God.
But then she lived, but then she died of blood poisoning from complications of her injuries at the hospital. So it's like, I feel like she would have lived if the hospital had done their thing right.
Yeah. Oh, man, that poor woman.
Yeah. And I do have a picture. You know, the famous picture of them, like, chilling on the beam.
Girder. Yeah.
Apparently that was a publicity stunt as well.
Really?
That was
it looks very staged.
Yeah, that was a staged photo.
Really?
Yep.
I mean, it's very iconic.
It is iconic. I mean, I don't care if it's staged or not. It's cool and terrifying.
Yes, because, I mean, I've seen this picture before several times.
It has been redone, like, cartoons, redoing it. I mean, it's a very iconic photo, and it was staged.
How interesting.
Yeah. So we've made it. We finished on time.
Woo! That never happens.
I know. And it's about to get better. So on May the 1st, President Hoover was the one to press the button in Washington, D.C., officially opening the building. Obviously, it wasn't connected to anything. It's very symbolic.
Okay.
Because there's no way. And so apparently he hit the button and the lights turned on for the first time. So anyway.
Okay.
Cute. Because of the Great Depression, during its time of building, the prices of the materials had dropped significantly and workers were very plentiful, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They had budgeted $43 million. It only cost them $25.
So this is like unheard of. One, a project of this scale being managed and engineered like to perfection, it sounds like, because it finished on time and it was under budget and they had plenty of workers and plenty of staff. This is like a unicorn in public works project.
Yes, and only 6 deaths when it was a literal hellscape to work in.
Right, with no PPE, and they had to have magnets to pull metal shards out of their eyes. Ugh, I'm never getting over that.
No, I'm gonna lose sleep about that. I am. So, Al Smith was there, and obviously, and his grandchildren cut the ribbon.
Oh,
which is really cute. They were
really
adorable. Cute. Bill Lamb, the architect. No one else went to the opening. I think the building stressed them out so bad. Nobody else went. It is said that Bill Lamb, he just didn't go. Richmond Shreve went on a 6-month cruise. Paul Sterrett went fishing. Some say he had like a breakdown over this, but his grandson who was interviewed was like, I was with him on the fishing trip. He just wanted to go fishing. He was fine.
Okay.
Whatever. But apparently everyone just like scat. They're like, we need a break.
From all of our hard work. That's so crazy.
Yeah. This whole thing is just wild. So it instantly becomes like a tourist attraction. And people from across the world are coming to see it. You can pay 10 cents to look through the telescope at New York City, which I think would be a really cool thing. I mean, think about how mind-blowing that would be for people in 1931 to pay 10 cents to look through a telescope of New York City in a way that you can't see unless you're in an airplane.
Yeah, that'd be really, really cool and very novel.
Yeah. In 6 months, the building collected more than $3,000 in nickels and dimes.
Oh my God.
So much.
It's a hit.
So, we're coming into some tragedies.
Oh no.
So, in 1933. So, Belle Muscovitz, she was PR extraordinaire.
Yes.
She fell down the stairs and broke both of her arms.
Oh no.
She sent out her and Al both, because I mean they were inseparable as far as like work goes.
Yeah.
Her husband, they sent out like notes that are like, thank you for, your concern. I'm fine. Everything is fine.
Yeah.
And they really thought all she had was 2 broken arms. No big deal, right? To the point where her husband like goes on a trip. She just dies. So there must have been some other complications from that.
Yeah.
But on January the 2nd,
head injury.
A head injury or like internal bleeding you don't know about that was maybe slow. But on January the 2nd of 1933, so just like, a year and a half after the Empire State opens, she dies. And at this point, 56 floors of this building are still empty because there are so many office spaces available because the Great Depression.
Right. Like, they can't fill them all. Oh, that's so sad. Poor Belle.
Yeah, I feel so bad. So Al Smith's, obviously, his political career is over, and he basically turns his focus on just keeping the Empire State Building in the news to keep it going. Like, it's still very popular. And in 1933, King Kong debuts in New York City in March. So it's just a couple months after her death that, King Kong comes in, and we all know
he's on the building and
on the top, and that helps a ton,
I'm sure.
So that's what he's doing now. We're gonna fast forward a little bit to 1944. Al Smith passes away. By the time 1944 rolls around, he has successfully made the building almost full. Now, when I say it was empty, they were literally keeping lights on in empty offices to try to make it look like they were full.
Oh, wow.
But it wasn't really fooling anybody.
Right.
So he had finally got the building almost full by the time of his death in 1944. There were 5 floors that were government office buildings or government offices, 3 floors for the United Nations, 8 TV stations, and the Catholic War Relief Agency.
Okay.
You ready for another whammy?
Oh gosh, maybe.
Okay. July 28th of 1945, just a couple months after the war ends. Right? When did the war end? Was it April?
Yeah.
I know it was 45, but was it?
Yeah, it was April, May.
Okay. Yeah. So just a couple months after the war ended, a B-25 bomber smashes into the side of it. Did you know that?
No.
Because I didn't.
No.
A plane hit the Empire State Building, and it killed all 3 men on board. The pilot being Lieutenant Colonel.
Goodness.
Lieutenant Colonel William F. Smith. I promise you, I've only had that much. I'm not doing okay. William F. Smith. So, he was from the war. He went to visit his family in Boston, and he had flown in through New York City and had mentioned to his wife the night before that the Empire State Building was really dark and hard to see. The next morning, he got on a flight carrying out a basic mission, just transporting people from Massachusetts to Newark Airport in New Jersey. Okay, so he was told not to go to Newark, that it was too foggy. He decided, I do what I want.
Okay.
At the time, civil air regulations required all aircraft to fly at a minimum of 2,000 feet above Manhattan. He was flying at just 913 feet.
Oh no.
And it was super foggy. And when he saw the Chrysler Building, instead of taking a left, he took a right, and it sent him through the middle of Manhattan, which put him hitting somewhere between the 78th and 79th floors. So right at the 78th and 80th floor. So right at the 79th floor, he smashed into the side of the building. It did kill him and his 2 other people in the plane. One of the plane's engines fell down an elevator shaft,
Oh,
The other
shit.
plane engine flew directly through the building, came out the south side, and ended up on a roof and causing another fire, which destroyed a penthouse art studio.
Holy shit.
11 people in this hurts so bad, the Catholic War Relief offices were killed.
No, that's so sad.
One of the reporters said that she came in really early. The only people that were there was the firefighters. And they said that somebody was sitting at their desk and they couldn't even tell if it was a man or a woman because they were so charred.
God.
They were just sitting there at their desk.
Oh, God.
Now for part 2 of this tragedy. This one does have a fairly happy ending, but it's insanity and actually holds a world record.
Oh, God.
Which is a weird way to phrase it.
Yes.
But a woman named Betty Lou Oliver was on the 80th floor when the initial impact occurred. And it tossed her out of her elevator shaft. So she was actually temporarily working at the Empire State Building while waiting for her husband to come back, I believe, from the military.
Okay.
So she was just kind of had a job to, while he's gone.
Yeah.
So she got burned from the fire. She was able to reach a first aid worker who put her in the other elevator cab to go down to the ground floor to get medical attention. But the elevator cables were damaged and snapped. She stayed completely conscious and said, quote, "I started yelling and pounding on the floor. I was going down so fast that I had to hang on to the sides of the elevator to keep from floating. All 6 cables that were attached to the cab snapped. The automatic braking cable was also destroyed. She had no braking systems at all. She fell over 1,000 feet in an elevator.
Well, burned.
Now, she freaking lived because science, okay? The elevator shaft was so tight around the elevator cab that it built up air pressure as it fell. On top of the cables, when they fell, they coiled. So between the air pressure and the coiling, it cushioned her fall enough to where she freaking lived. Someone said the concrete floor under her was crushed like an eggshell.
Damn,
but
just
she
like the air pocket, like squishing.
lived.
Wow.
She went to the hospital. She stayed there for 4 months before being discharged. She was able to walk out of the hospital. She had a broken, oh God, what was it? It was back and neck.
Oh God.
On top of the burns, but she just went back home. And then she wouldn't talk to anybody else. She said she was, quote, plain not interested in discussing it anymore.
I don't blame her. I wouldn't want to relive that trauma over and over and over again for reporters.
Nope. Now, if you would like a happy ending, she lived to the age of 74, had 3 children and 7 grandchildren, and passed away in 1999. So she lived a long, healthy life.
I'm glad.
I am too. That is not a record I want to hold.
No, I would rather not be in that situation, period. Oh, what that's so tragic on all sides. Oh, man.
But you know what's crazy? Because of how well built they built this building, it reopened the following Monday.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm serious. It was the following Monday. They were like, I mean, it's safe for you to be in, so go back to work while we fix the hole.
Jeez.
Yeah. Makes you wonder about other planes hitting buildings. I'm just kidding. I'll edit that out. I don't need the government after us. So.
I literally, when you were like, the plane hit the Empire State Building, that's all I could think of. It was just like...
Seriously. So on to a little bit about the legacy.
Okay.
15 years after opening, in 1946, it became the headquarters for 15,000 employees.
Damn.
Could you imagine trying to find parking?
Oh, God. Well, there's no parking in New York. Like, you
No.
have to take public transportation.
Just walk.
Yeah.
It sounds awful. So, in 1950, to allow more stations to use the Empire State Building, they added an antenna, and it added another 222 feet, bringing it up to 1,472 feet tall.
You gotta milk out every inch, right?
Every inch. And in 1955, the American Society of Civil Engineers picks it as one of the 7 greatest engineering achievements in America's history, putting it beside the Hoover Dam and the Panama Canal.
Yeah, I would say so. Just everything that you described, like the process of it being built, yeah.
Yeah. In 1961, it was sold to 3 people. Lawrence A. Wien. Wien? W-I-E-N. Wayne. I'm saying wine because that's fun.
Yeah, let's do wine.
Peter L. Malkin and Harry B. Helmsley.
Okay.
Those were names.
Those are all very, very names.
Do you have to have a weird name to be rich? Is it a requirement?
Yes.
Well, my name's pretty weird. Why am I not rich?
See, you're switching the causation.
Ugh, damn it. I was about to say, I demand money. I demand compensation for my weird ass name.
I demand money.
I forgot the word compensation for a while. I told you that one word I had earlier that I can't even remember now. Ergonomics.
Yeah.
Was all they had.
You pulled that from the depths.
From the depths of my college degree 8 years ago. So, these people with the very interesting names bought the Empire State Building for $65 million in 1961. That is about $560 million today, and did not include the land that the building sits on. It is the highest ever paid amount for a single building.
So who owns the land?
The Empire State Realty Trust owns the land under the Empire State Building.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the Empire, in 1969, it served as the finish line for the Daily Mail Transatlantic Air Race, which saw 360 runners or racers. And these are people who were in jets, propeller planes, helicopters, anything that can go transatlantic from London's post office tower to New York City.
I was like,
that a plane hit it. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, hopefully nothing bad happened. No crashes.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
It didn't say anything bad, so I think it all went well.
Okay, thank goodness.
Now, let's see. February 15th of 1978 was the inaugural Empire State Building annual run-up. Literally, the runners climb up all 1,500 stairs to the top. And you can still do it. Like, it happens every year. Can you imagine the calves on these people? The thighs. I mean, these people have to have the most muscular legs you've ever seen in your life. I tried to run after Marin this afternoon, and my ankle gave out on me. Within 30 seconds. My cousin had to help. It was not okay. I could never. Do you know how crunchy my knees would be by the time I got to the top? I struggled with the freaking lighthouse in St. Augustine, and that was pre-kid. No.
No, thank you. That sounds horrible.
Yeah, so we will not be participating in that. And in 1981, on May 18th, it is the New York City Landmarks Preservation Commission declared it a landmark.
Okay.
And I swear I did cut out a lot of things.
Yeah.
They were putting things like, in 1999, we added 4 lights around the corners. I'm like, I don't need to know about that.
That's okay. That's fine.
Yes. In 1986, it is recognized as a National Historic Landmark by the National Park Services.
Okay.
And in 2007, it is ranked number 1 on the list of America's favorite architecture by the American Institute of Architects, beating out the White House, the Golden Gate Bridge, and the Washington Cathedral.
I mean, the Empire State Building's iconic. Like, you know, like, just looking at it, you know what it is. Like, you can look at just, like, even a scale model, and you're like, yep, that's Empire State Building.
And honestly, I didn't even talk about the countless movies that it's in.
Or
references. Or, I mean, literally, I don't know if you've heard this phrase or whatever. It's like, I would rather jump off the Empire State Building than do that, XYZ, whatever. Like, it's just pop culture since it's 1931.
Embedded in our consciousness.
Yes. And that's what I have. Like, about it.
Cool. Well, I learned a lot about the Empire State Building, so thank you, Emily.
Can we go see it next week?
Yeah, let's do it.
I want to at least drive by. I'd love to go inside, but I would love to at least drive by and just bask in its glory for a second, even if it's from a cab, just looking out the window.
Well, I don't even think, like, you can really even see, if I remember, I saw it, like, when I was a kid. I think it's hard to see the top, like, from the ground because it's so tall.
Should we go to, like, the Chrysler Building just to get a better look at the Empire State? It's like, why are you here to look at that one?
Yeah. We have to compare them.
Yes. I like that one better. It's taller. Because that's all that matters. It's size.
Size matters.
Oh my God, the 30s were wild. I'm telling you right now, there was one that was like, with one of the older men who was reminiscing about his time there. He was like, I remember this one guy. We called him something like Big Joe, or I don't know, they had a nickname for him. He was the first to cut off his jeans and wear shorts on the job site. I was like, why is that wild? But okie dokie.
Well, yeah, I don't think they really even had shorts.
No?
That were widespread.
He had like cut off jeans, and he had no shirt, and he was like one of the buffest dudes I'd ever seen. And the guy was like, that was the toughest guy I'd ever seen. I'm like, yeah, he's checking all the marks. Like, I believe it. He looked not scary, but just like, ugh.
Just, I'm here for construction.
Yes, I build whole tower by myself. He was the 3,400 workers, just him.
All him by himself.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I rattled on very quickly, and it still took me an hour.
No, I think you did great. I think that you kept the story going, and I think you hit everything that was like critical to the story, and I feel so much more educated now about the Empire State Building.
Nick and I watched a documentary the other day. It was a couple weeks ago, just trying to find something for the kids to watch. My son's really into history right now. Like, I took him to Books A Million. He bought a book about the Spitfire airplanes. And I was like,
cool.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
My daughter bought a book about dogs. So that's my girl. Anyway. And we just came across like one of the documentaries, and we were like, oh, it's about the Empire State Building. Sure, put it on, whatever. My son loves architecture and things of that nature. And by the end of that episode, I was like, I didn't know all this happened. So I put it in my little notes, like topics, Empire State.
Yeah.
And just picked it at random a couple weeks ago. Because I've been working on this one for like a week because it's still summer, guys.
Yeah.
And I've had to do a lot of momming. So I've been working on this for like, I don't know, 20-minute spurts every day.
Well, you did a great job.
Thanks. We should get into socials.
Let's do our socials.
Okay. If you liked this, you can find us on Facebook.
Ill-Equipped History Podcast group and page.
TikTok.
At Ill-Equipped History.
Instagram.
At Ill-Equipped History.
Gmail.
Ill-equippedhistory@gmail.com.
And Patreon.
Patreon.com/ill-equippedhistory. Please consider donating. And you get stickers and bonus episodes every month. Well,
yes.
You get bonus episodes every month, not stickers every month.
You get stickers when I find the time to make new ones. And I promise we're going to put TikToks out there eventually. Maybe when school starts back. We're having a time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I bet we could film some cool ones while we're together.
Oh my God. I have one that's just sitting there waiting for me to put together from my trip to Florida because I saw cannons being shot off.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
It was cool. So maybe I'll get that together one day.
Yeah.
If air traffic control tells you not to go to Newark, please don't go to Newark.
Yeah. Don't go to Newark. We were actually told not to go to Newark too, for our flight up there.
Yeah.
So apparently the lesson is don't go to Newark.
When in doubt, don't go to Newark. And if you're falling in an elevator, hope the air pressure is good.
Yeah. I hate that so much. My takeaway is get you some really damn good engineers for your construction project. Because it sounds like it made all the difference.
And keep your magnets handy.
Evil.
But yes, the engineers. Sorry, I love you so much.
We're ending this here. They'll be tormented by you no more. Okay, bye.